you're starting or when you're getting a trade license in the Czech Republic, when you're starting a business as a freelancer, even if you do get or if you're setting up the limited liability company, SRO, how we call it in the Czech Republic, you need it as well. But especially if you're getting a trade license in the Czech Republic, one of the documents you need is a business address. You need to have a place where the business is registered. We do, I don't know, hundreds of trade licenses every year. And I would say half of our clients use their home address, like where they live, and half of our clients use the virtual address we provide. So I decided to give you 4 advantages of having a virtual address, so you know what it is and what the advantages are, maybe also disadvantages, which are generally the opposite of what I will be talking about. And yeah, of course, if you need or if you want to get a virtual business address, get in touch, use the link in the description of the video. We'll be happy to get it done to you. It takes one business day to get it ready. I don't know what's with my brain today, with my tongue, I don't know. Probably tired, but sorry. So it takes 1 business days. We give you a consent and you can use it for a trade license. Usually we take it to the trade license ourselves because we do the trade license for our clients as well. So that's the best combo. But if you want to get just the trade license, that's fine as well. But let's go right into the topic and the 4 advantages of having a virtual business address. So first one is that you not always can get it in the apartment where you live. Sometimes the landlords do not agree with that. There used to be reasons for that. Like, for example, if your business was not doing well, going well, you got into some problems and debt collectors came to the address, they could potentially take your landlord's furniture and TV and stuff like that. So many landlords used to not give a consent for the business address just to prevent this from happening. This is not true for many years anymore, but still some landlords are a bit afraid to provide the consent. So sometimes the landlord do not agree with that. Sometimes, even if they agree with that, because there are some rules. For example, the business address consent must be signed by people who own majority of the property. So if it's 1 person, easy. If it's 2 people, that's often the case, like a married couple, then it's not enough to get just 1 signature. You need to get both of the married couple to sign the consent for you. Sometimes it can be a trouble. And of course, this gets more complicated if the flat is owned by multiple people or especially the housing cooperative. So sometimes it's also about the paperwork required, why you cannot get it. But sometimes it's just about the landlord not willing to do that. And in that case, you don't really have any other option than get some form of virtual address. Be it which you will pay yearly, or be it your friends who will sign the consent, or some other solution. But if you cannot have it in your own apartment, you have to get it somewhere else. There is no chance of getting a trade license without having a business address. So that was reason number 1. Reason number 2 is that the trade license and all your details basically are visible online. Everyone can access them. So if I now go online, I can see that you have a trade license. I can see when you got it. I can see when it expires, which actually tells me a lot. If I know a bit about immigration, it tells me a lot, because for non-EU citizens, for example, the trade license always has the same validity as your visa. So I essentially know when your visa expires. Based on the duration of the trade license, I can guess what types of visas you had previously, what you have now. So there are many things I can tell, but also one of the things which is visible is your full name, your date of birth, and your address, the business address. So if you have the business address in the place where you live, everyone on the internet knows where you live, which some people don't care. They don't mind, because anyway, there is a lot of information about you available on the internet already. but some people care about it. They don't want to have the trade license registered at the same address where they live, just so people cannot find them, or just to have it separate, like to have a business address and home address. But that's one of the reasons. If you have the business address, like the virtual business address, it's somewhere else other than where you live. So no one will find you there, basically. No one knows where you live. That was reason number 2. Reason number 3 is similar to that, but if you move, you don't need to change the address. Because if you move, then your business address should move with you, because you should not leave the business address at the address where you don't live anymore. And especially for those of you, if you stay in the same apartment for 10 years, that probably does not bother you much. If you stay in the same apartment for 5 years, that probably doesn't bother you much. But if you move every year, which some people do, then you should change every year. You should change your business address. All the documentation will change at the Social Security, healthcare, tax office. Tax office is very particular about this, and they even send your whole file to the new tax office responsible for the new place where you live. So if you move from Prague 2 to Prague 3, the tax office will send your file from Prague 2 to Prague 3. And that means that for some period of time, you will have no access to any tax records you might need, because your file is somewhere traveling to another part of Prague or the Czech Republic. So that's one thing. And if you have the business address, the virtual business address, then it's always the same address. If you move a million times, first, no one knows where you're moving, because also all the changes are visible online as well. So if you moved five times, I can easily find out where the addresses were if you use them as your business address. So similar to the previous one, that people don't know where are you moving, but you also don't need to make the changes everywhere if you move or when you move. So that was number 3. Number 4, sometimes people don't have their mailbox, or they have their mailbox, but it might be somehow not like 100% reliable, because it might be broken, or it might not have their names on the mailbox, or it might be just like some weird situation. I've seen it in different occasions. Like just the mailbox might be there, but it's not maybe like perfectly reliable for whatever reasons. And or you travel a lot, for example, also because if you travel a lot, then you might easily miss some mail which comes to the mailbox, or it doesn't come to the mailbox because some mail must be given to you directly by the postman. So also this is an advantage of having the virtual address, that you have someone responsible. Basically how the virtual address works is that we own a property in a building at this point in Prague 8, and you have a mailbox there with your name on the mailbox. So whenever, and also there is a 24/7 reception. So if the mailman or mail lady comes, then they can leave the letter at the reception, or they can leave the letter in your mailbox, and you will basically always get it, because there is always someone at the reception and there is the mailbox with your name on it. So it's not the way that the post office could not access your mailbox, or they would not find you at the address, because your name is there and the reception also knows about you. So those were the advantages of having a virtual business address. Again, guys, if you're interested in that service, get in touch. We'll be happy to do that for you. It's done within 1 business day. So yeah, use the form in the description of the video. And now I'll see if the question here is related to this topic. If yes, I'll answer it. If not, I'll finish the live stream and we'll go home, I guess. So Engineer Liban, Jan, greetings from Addis Ababa. What is the longest waiting time for a student visa decision? I want to ask what it means for the numbers after, for example, blah, blah. Okay, so I answered that because it's the only question here. It's not really to the topic, but it's the only question, so let's do it. So first, the student visa, officially 60 days. But as for the higher limit, The ministry does not have any limits. If they want your case to be in review for 7 years, they can do that. You could fight it. You could send them letters. I've done a couple of videos about that. So if you go to my channel somewhere, wherever, you can do that and search for taking too long or something like that. What to do if your application has been taking too long or something like that. Then you will find a video about the different options you have. But honestly, the ministry does not care. Like, what will you do? You will go to the court with the Czech Republic? Probably not. So they don't care. But officially they have 60 days. And as for the numbers, OAM, that's basically just Asylum and Migration Policy Department. The numbers, that's the actual number of your application. The DV means long-term visa, so that's the type of your application. And 2024 is the year when the application was submitted. So I've done another video where I explain this in detail. So again, go to my channel, you will find a video there where I explain all the different types of the application numbers and how you can check it, where you can check it, all that. So guys, thank you very much for joining, and I will see you again Monday, Thursday, until the end of the world. Good night.